You made it through the day. All its noise, its demands, the endless list of things that asked for your attention, you made it here to this quiet space. For a moment, let the world outside grow softer, like the hush that follows after the evening rain. You don't have to carry the weight anymore. You don't have to hold everything together, not right now. This is a place where you can simply be. Take a slow, gentle breath. Feel the air fill your lungs and notice how your chest rises without any effort from you. Exhale and let your shoulders soften. The tension that builds up across the hours can begin to slip away. No one is asking anything of you here. You are safe. You are welcome. It's okay if today was heavy. Perhaps it asked more of you than you thought you could give. Perhaps it left you feeling stretched thin, or maybe you felt like you had to keep going even when you wanted to stop. Here, there is no need to pretend. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't need to explain. The one who made you sees you fully and completely, and he loves you as you are. If you've been holding back tears, you can let them fall. If you've been holding your breath in worry, you can let it out. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That promise from Psalm 34 is for you. At this moment, it's not about fixing anything. It's about resting in the presence of the one who understands every unspoken ache. Let me sit with you for a while. Picture a quiet evening, the sky fading to deep blue, a soft lamp glowing nearby. You are not alone. Feel the quiet companionship of God like a steady heartbeat, faithful and kind. He whispers in the stillness, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." These words from Matthew 11:28 are not a demand. They are an invitation to a gentle welcome into peace. Release the day. The worries about tomorrow can wait. The mistakes and frustrations of today can rest in God's hands. As you let go, notice the space that opens within you. It is a space where peace can breathe. It is a space where hope can quietly take root again. You have arrived in a sacred pause, a soft shelter for your heart. Stay here as long as you need. Breathe in the quiet mercy of this moment. Allow the love of God to hold you steady and sure, like the ground beneath your feet. You are safe, you are loved, and you are not forgotten. And as we move forward together, let this gentle assurance settle deep inside. You do not have to carry the weight alone. God's presence is already here, ready to guide you into deeper rest and quiet trust. Let us take the next step into this evening of peace, where His comfort will continue to unfold. There's someone who saw everything you didn't say today. Every sigh that slipped out when no one was around. Every thought you kept to yourself because you weren't sure anyone would understand. Jesus sees you. Not just the part of you that shows up for work or family, not just the smiles you offer when you're tired. He sees the you that others might overlook. Think of the days when you felt like a shadow in a crowded room, when it seems like your efforts go unnoticed or your heartache goes unheard. The world can be loud and busy, and sometimes it rushes past those who are quietly struggling. But Jesus never rushes past you. He notices what others miss. He looks directly into the places where you've hidden your pain, and He calls you by name. Remember the story of the woman who had been sick for 12 long years. She came to Jesus in a crowd so large that people were pressing in from every side. She didn't want attention. She only wanted to touch the edge of His robe, believing that even the smallest contact would bring healing. And when she did, Jesus stopped. He turned and asked him, "Who touched me?" Though many brushed against him, he knew the difference. He felt her silent plea. He saw the faith she carried in her trembling heart. And He called her daughter, a word of belonging and love. Or think of Zacchaeus, the tax collector, who had climbed a tree just to catch a glimpse of Jesus passing by. Everyone else saw him as a cheat, a man not worth their kindness. But Jesus looked up and saw him. He didn't just see a man in a tree. He saw a heart longing for redemption. "Zacchaeus, come down," He said, "for I must stay at your house today." While the crowd muttered and judged, Jesus offered friendship and a new beginning. these stories aren't distant memories. They are glimpses of the way Jesus still moves toward those who feel hidden. He sees the person who feels small in their own life, the one who wonders if anyone notices how hard they're trying. He sees the quiet sacrifices you make, the prayers you whisper when no one else is listening. Sometimes it feels easier to stay invisible, to keep your struggles tucked away. Maybe you've thought, if I stay quiet, if I keep going, maybe no one will notice how tired I am. But Jesus notices, not to expose or embarrass you, but to gently remind you that you matter. To him, you are not a face in the crowd. You are known, valued, and loved with a love that does not depend on how much you accomplish or how perfectly you hold it together. Picture him sitting beside you now, not hurried, not distracted. He listens to the words you can't quite form. He feels the weight you carry, even the parts you have not spoken aloud. He looks at you with eyes that understand every unspoken fear and every hidden hope. And in that quiet gaze, there is no judgment, only compassion. Do you know how often Jesus stopped for the forgotten? Over and over again, the Gospels show him pausing for the ones others passed by, the blind man calling from the roadside, the children eager for his blessing, the outcasts and the weary. He makes time for the overlooked, because in his kingdom, no one is invisible. As you breathe in this moment, let that truth settle deep. Jesus sees you. He sees the tears you tried to hide, the frustration you couldn't put into words, the silent battles that wear you down. You are fully known and fully loved, so rest in his gaze. Let his presence be the gentle assurance that you are not alone. As we move forward, carry this with you. The same Jesus who stopped for the forgotten is stopping for you now, ready to walk with you into the next moments of peace. Even your body deserves peace. After all the rushing and striving of the day, every muscle longs for a quiet place to rest. You have carried so many thoughts, responsibilities, silent worries, and now it is time to gently set them down. For just a little while, you can let go. You are safe here, and there is nothing you need to fix or control. Find a position that feels easy. Perhaps you are lying back or sitting with your feet resting on the floor. Allow your hands to rest loosely without effort. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and notice the simple gift of breath. Inhale grace, exhales worry. Feel the slow rhythm of air moving in and out, like the steady tide that never rushes yet never stops as you breathe in. Picture the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." Let each inhale carry the quiet certainty of his presence. As you breathe out, release the tightness that you've held on to today, the clenched jaw, the furrowed brow, the tension behind your eyes. With every breath, let your body soften a little more. Begin with your shoulders. Notice if they are lifted or tight. Allow them to fall away from your ears, heavy and warm. Move your attention slowly down your arms to your elbows, wrists and fingertips. Let every part feel loose and unburdened. Now bring your awareness to your neck and face. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Let your tongue rest gently, your jaw unclench. Imagine God's peace washing over your face like a cool stream, smoothing every line of strain. Draw another deep breath. As you exhale, think of Jesus' words in Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Let these words sink into your chest where your heart beats faithfully. Feel that steady rhythm, the quiet sign of life that God himself sustains. Allow his promise of rest to settle into every beat. Slowly move your awareness down through your chest and stomach. Notice where you might be holding anxiety, a knot of worry, a swirl of unease. With each breath out, imagine that knot loosening, as if God's gentle hand is untying it thread by thread. Shift your attention to your back, your hips, your legs. These have carried you all day. Offer them the gift of stillness. Let them grow heavy, as though they are sinking into the earth itself, supported and secure. Finally, feel the gentle weight of your feet. the quiet strength in your toes. From head to toe, you are cradled in peace. Nothing to prove, nothing to hide. In this stillness, remember that surrender is not giving up. It is trusting the one who holds all things together. As your breath flows in and out, you are resting in his care. He has seen every moment of your day, every burden you carried. And he invites you now to let go for a moment, to let him carry what you no longer can. Stay here as long as you wish. Breathe in grace, breathe out worry. Let your body and spirit rest in the quiet certainty that God is near. And as we move forward, carry with you this soft truth. You were never meant to hold it all alone. Jesus didn't ask you to impress him just to come. His words in Matthew 11:28-30 reach across time like a quiet call. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. These words are not a test to pass or a task to complete. They are an invitation, a gentle hand extended toward you. What if rest is holy? So often we treat rest as something we must earn, a reward at the end of endless effort. We tell ourselves we can pause only after the list is finished, after everyone else is cared for, after we've proven our worth. But Jesus speaks into that cycle and says simply, come. Not when you've done enough. Not when you feel you deserve it. Come now just as you are, and I will give you rest. Think about the people who first heard these words. They were farmers and laborers, parents and workers carrying heavy loads, both on their shoulders and in their hearts. They knew the ache of tired muscles and the pressure of expectations. And Jesus, standing among them, offered a kind of rest, deeper than sleep. He offered a soul-deep peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. That same invitation reaches you tonight. Perhaps you are someone who gives and gives at work, at home, for friends and family. Maybe you have grown so used to carrying everyone else's needs that the idea of stopping feels selfish. But in the eyes of Jesus, rest is not selfish. It is sacred. It is the space where he reminds you that your value is not measured by how much you do. Remember the story of Mary and Martha. Martha busied herself with serving, while Mary sat at Jesus' feet, listening to his words. When Martha grew frustrated, Jesus gently said that Mary had chosen the better part. He wasn't scolding Martha for her service. He was reminding her and us that being present with him is more important than proving ourselves through endless activity. This rest Jesus offers is not about abandoning your responsibilities or ignoring the people you love. It is about trusting that you are held even when you stop striving. It is about laying down the invisible burdens of guilt, anxiety, the constant need to be enough, and letting him carry them. Close your eyes and picture Jesus beside you, patient and kind. He does not rush you. He does not list your shortcomings. He simply opens his arms and whispers, "Come." Let those words settle over you like a soft blanket. Feel the release as you breathe in his presence. You might notice resistance rise inside, the familiar voice that says, "I can't rest yet. There's too much to do." Acknowledge that thought, and then let it pass like a cloud drifting across a quiet sky. Jesus is not waiting for you to finish everything before you meet him. He is here now, in this very breath. Rest is holy because it reminds us that God is God and we are not. It is a sacred trust, a way of saying with our stillness, "Lord, you hold the world, and I do not have to." When you release control, even for a moment, you step into the rhythm of grace that has always been waiting for you. So tonight, let his invitation be enough. Lay down the burdens you were never meant to carry. Breathe deeply of the peace. He gives a peace that flows not from your achievements, but from his love. In his presence, you are already accepted, already loved, already at rest. And as we continue, carry with you this gentle truth. The rest he offers is not just for tonight. It is a gift for every day, a holy rhythm for your life. You don't have to clean yourself up to come to Him. Right here, in the exact place you find yourself, whether you feel strong or fragile, certain or full of questions, you are welcome. There is no need to hide the messy corners of your life, no need to dress up the parts of your heart that feel unfinished. Jesus never turned away the weary, and He will not turn away from you. Perhaps you carry regrets that echo in the quiet moments, memories of words you wish you could take back, choices you wish you could change. Or maybe you feel distant from God, like your prayers have grown faint or your faith has slipped through your fingers. None of this disqualifies you from His love. The very places you fear are too broken are the ones He longs to hold with the gentlest care. Think of the people who came to Jesus when He walked the earth. He welcomed fishermen with rough hands and tax collectors with questionable reputations. He touched those societies that had cast aside the sick, the outcasts, the ones everyone else avoided. When others saw reasons to turn away, He saw beloved children, and He still does. In Luke 15, Jesus told the story of the prodigal son, a child who left home and squandered everything, only to return with nothing but his shame. The father didn't stand back with crossed arms, waiting for an explanation. He ran to meet his son, embraced him, and celebrated his return. This is the heart of God toward you. Whether you feel far away or unworthy, He runs to meet you with open arms. Close your eyes and imagine Him drawing near. There is no hint of disappointment in His gaze. There is only the steady warmth of love that has never wavered. He knows every secret fear, every hidden doubt, and still He whispers, "You are mine." You don't have to earn this acceptance.
It is not a prize for perfect faith.
It is a gift, freely given because His love is bigger than your failures or questions. If shame has told you that you are beyond forgiveness, hear the promise of 1 John 1:9. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. This cleansing is not a scolding. It is the tender washing of a soul by the One who delights in making all things new. Let the weight you've carried begin to lift. You don't have to hold your breath, waiting to see if you measure up. In Christ, you are already loved before you say the right words, before you prove anything. Rest now in this truth. You are fully seen and fully embraced.
Nothing in your past or present can make Him turn away.
Even if your faith feels like a flicker, He welcomes you. Even if all you can bring is your brokenness, He delights to receive it. As this first chapter draws to a close, let the quiet settle deep within you. You are safe in His presence. You are accepted just as you are. And as we move forward together, carry with you this unshakable hope. His love will not let you go. What if God's voice sounds more like a whisper than thunder? Perhaps you've heard loud voices in your life, voices of criticism, of disappointment, of demands you could never quite meet. Maybe some of those voices have echoed inside your own thoughts, shaping the way you see yourself. But the voice of Jesus is different. He speaks softly. His words are gentle, filled with life and kindness, carrying a strength that does not wound. Imagine the woman at the well, weary and misunderstood. She came in the heat of the day, when others would not be there, trying to avoid the stares and whispers of her neighbors. She carried a story she wished she could rewrite, choices she regretted, and shame that weighed her down. And yet when Jesus met her, He did not raise His voice. He did not shame her or turn away. He spoke with quiet honesty and deep compassion, offering her living water, a life that would never run dry. He saw her fully, and still He invited her into grace. Think too of Peter, bold and eager to follow Jesus, but who in the darkness of fear denied knowing Him 3 times. When morning came, Peter's heart must have been heavy with regret, haunted by the memory of his own words. But when the risen Jesus met Peter on the shore, He did not scold or accuse. He prepared breakfast. He asked gentle questions. "Do you love me?" 3 times, one for each denial. And with each answer, Jesus gave Peter a fresh beginning. Even when Peter failed, Jesus never yelled. He restored him with patience and love. This is the way of Christ. His gentleness is not weakness. It is the strength of someone who loves perfectly. He does not break a bruised reed or snuff out a smoldering wick. He does not shout to be heard above the noise of the world. He leans close and speaks in a voice that soothes the soul. Maybe you have been hurt by harsh words, criticism that cut deep, expectations that felt impossible. Perhaps you've carried those voices inside, replaying them until they feel like truth. But Jesus' words are different. They do not condemn. They invite. They do not demand. They heal. Pause now and listen with the ears of your heart. Hear the promise of Isaiah 41:10. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." These are words of quiet assurance, spoken not in anger, but in love. Picture Jesus sitting beside you, the way he sat with the woman at the well. He knows every chapter of your story, the triumphs and the mistakes, and he is not frightened or disappointed. He simply offers his presence. He speaks in the hush of your spirit, reminding you that you are treasured, that you belong, that you are forgiven. His whisper can be easy to miss in the noise of life, yet it is always there. It may come as a gentle nudge in your heart, a scripture that lingers in your thoughts, a sense of peace when you pray. It is not the voice of pressure or fear. It is the steady, loving tone of the one who calls you by name. Let the harsh echoes fade. Let the loud, demanding voices lose their grip.
Lean into the quiet where Jesus speaks.
In that stillness, his words settle like a soft rain. You are loved. You are safe. You are mine. As you breathe in this moment, allow the kindness of Christ to wash over every wound left by cruel words or unforgiving thoughts. Let his gentle voice shape the truth you carry forward. And as we move to the next part of this journey, hold close this simple, life-giving reality. God's voice, the voice that matters most, is always soft enough to draw you near. He never rushed a single moment. Every step Jesus took was measured with love, every glance filled with the quiet strength of someone who saw the world through the eyes of heaven. Tonight, let these stories rest over you like a warm blanket, soft, steady, and full of life. Allow the beauty of his presence to draw you close as we wander through a few moments from his life. Moments where heaven touched earth with gentleness and grace. Picture a small house in a busy village, the air thick with expectation. Friends have carried a man who cannot walk, determined to bring him to Jesus. The crowd is so large that they cannot reach the door, so they climb to the roof, remove the tiles, and lower their friend on a mat right in front of him. The room falls silent. Dust drifts down like tiny stars. Jesus looks up, sees their faith, and smiles. "Your sins are forgiven," he says first, healing the heart before the body. Then with quiet authority, he tells the man to rise. And the man stands, his legs strong beneath him, his mat now tucked under his arm. In a single moment, years of waiting turn into a lifetime of wonder. Now imagine the Sea of Galilee at dusk. The sky glows with fading gold, and the water reflects the deepening blue of evening. The disciples row hard against a sudden storm, waves tossing their small boat like a leaf in the wind. Fear tightens their throats. Then, out of the darkness, Jesus walks toward them on the water. The storm still rages, but his voice cuts through the wind. "Take courage."
"It is I. Do not be afraid." Peter steps out, his heart pounding, and for a few breathtaking moments he walks on the waves.
When fear overtakes him and he begins to sink, Jesus reaches out without hesitation and lifts him up. The storm does not win. The quiet strength of Jesus does. One more scene. A courtyard in the grey light of early morning. A woman stands trembling, surrounded by men who hold stones in their hand. They accuse her of sin and demand a verdict. Jesus bends down, writes in the dust, and the world holds its breath. Then he stands and says, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." One by one, the stones drop. The accusers fade into silence. Jesus looks at the woman not with condemnation, but with mercy.
"Neither do I condemn you," he whispers.
"Go now and leave your life of sin." No lecture, no shame, only the freedom of forgiveness and a new beginning. These stories are not distant memories. They are living pictures of the heart of Christ. He forgives before we even know how to ask. He comes to us in the middle of our storm, steady and sure. He offers mercy where the world offers judgment. And he does it all without hurry, without force, with a calm that invites us to breathe as you let these moments linger. Notice how each one carries the same gentle thread. Jesus sees, he listens, he acts with quiet power. He never rushes. He never overlooks the one who feels small. Allow these stories to settle in your heart tonight. Imagine his eyes meeting yours with the same unshakable kindness. The same voice that calmed the sea, that spoke mercy to the accused, that healed the man who could not walk, speaks still, offering you peace. Rest in the assurance that these are not just stories from long ago.
They are glimpses of how he loves you now.
As we move forward, let the warmth of his presence stay with you like a gentle covering, reminding you that his care is as real and as close as your next breath. He calls you friend, not servant. Let those words from John 15:15 sink in like a gentle rain. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. Jesus is not a distant king waiting for you to prove your worth. He draws near as a companion, steady, kind, and trustworthy. Friendship with Jesus is unlike any friendship you have ever known. Earthly friends may come and go, but he is constant. He knows the depths of your heart, the corners you keep hidden, and yet he welcomes you without hesitation. His friendship is not earned through perfection. It is a gift of love that reaches into the places where you feel most alone. Consider the promise of Isaiah 42:3. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smouldering wick he will not snuff out. Picture a fragile reed bent by the wind, a faint flame flickering in the dark. These images describe the weary, the ones who feel their strength is almost gone. Jesus does not break the reed or extinguish the flame.
Instead, he gently supports what is fragile, protects what still burns, and whispers life into what feels small. Think of the moments when Jesus showed this kind of friendship.
He wept with Mary and Martha at the tomb of Lazarus, sharing in their sorrow, even though he knew resurrection was moments away. He walked the dusty roads with his disciples, eating meals, laughing, listening to their questions. He washed their feet, a humble act of love that showed them what true friendship looks like. Service without pride, closeness without condition. Maybe you know what it feels like to be overlooked or misunderstood, to carry burdens you cannot easily share. Perhaps you have wondered if anyone really sees the weight you carry. Jesus does. He calls you friend, and that means he walks beside you in every quiet struggle. He does not wait for you to have the right words or the right faith. He simply offers his presence, steady as a heartbeat, gentle as a whisper. Friendship with Jesus means you can bring him your unpolished thoughts, your doubts, and your fears.
You don't have to hide the parts of yourself that feel unfinished.
He listens without interruption, without judgment. He understands the longings you cannot even name. Picture him beside you now. The air around you softens with his nearness. There is no pressure, no list of expectations, just the quiet companionship of someone who delights in being with you. Feel the relief of not having to perform or impress. In his presence, you are fully known and fully accepted. When the night feels long and your heart feels tired, remember that you are not walking it alone. Jesus is the friend who stays. He does not grow weary of your questions. He does not tire of your prayers. He holds your hand when the path is uncertain and lifts you when you stumble. Let the words of Psalm 34:18 settle in your soul. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. His closeness is not a distant idea. It is a present reality. He is here now with you, offering the comfort of a friend who never leaves. A bruised reed he will not break. A flickering wick he will not snuff out. And a weary heart he will never abandon.
Lean into that friendship.
Let it quiet the loneliness, ease the ache, and remind you that you are deeply, unfailingly loved. As we continue, carry this truth with you. Jesus, the compassionate friend of the weary, walks every step by your side. God often speaks after the noise fades. When the clamor of the day finally softens, when the screens dim and the voices grow quiet, there is a space where your soul can breathe. This is the stillness where his presence waits, not hidden, but patient, ready for you to lean in. You don't need to hear words to feel his nearness. Sometimes his whisper is simply the peace that settles when you pause long enough to notice. Think of the prophet Elijah. After a season of fear and exhaustion, he fled to a mountain cave, desperate for God's voice. There came a mighty wind, powerful enough to split the rocks, but the Lord was not in the wind. Then an earthquake shook the ground, yet the Lord was not in the earthquake. After that came a fire, fierce and bright, but the Lord was not in the fire. And then after all the noise came a gentle whisper. That is where Elijah encountered God. This same gentle presence is here for you now. You don't need dramatic signs or a thunderous voice. God often speaks in the quiet places of your heart, where anxiety begins to loosen and you can finally listen. Take a slow breath in. Let it fill you steady and deep. As you exhale, imagine the clutter of your thoughts beginning to drift like leaves on a quiet stream. The worries of today, the noise of tomorrow, let them rest in God's care. With each breath, create a little more room inside for peace to unfold. Listening with your heart is not about straining for a sound. It is about opening a gentle awareness. Maybe you will sense his presence as a soft warmth, a calm that has no explanation. Maybe a verse of scripture will rise unbidden in your thoughts, or a memory of his faithfulness will glow quietly in your mind. Or perhaps you will simply feel held deep knowing that you are not alone. If distractions come, do not fight them. Notice them like clouds passing across the sky and return to the stillness. God's whisper is patient. He is not in a hurry, and he will not compete with the noise. Let Psalm 46:10 guide you. Be still and know that I am God. These words are both an invitation and a promise. In the stillness, you are reminded of a truth deeper than all your busyness. He is God, and he is near. Stay here for a few moments, resting in the quiet. Allow his presence to wash over you like a soft evening breeze. You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to speak.
Simply be in this hush. Notice how your soul begins to unclench. The tension you carried starts to fade. You are safe here, fully known, completely loved. God often speaks after the noise fades, sometimes in a whisper, sometimes in the silent assurance that you belong. As we move forward, carry this quiet with you. Let it be a gentle rhythm beneath the day's demands, a reminder that God's voice is not lost in the noise. Whenever you pause to listen, he is already there, waiting to meet you in the stillness. The creator of stars knows the sound of your voice. Think of that for a moment. The one who scattered galaxies across the night sky, who carved mountains and set the oceans in motion, knows you by name. He does not see you as a distant face in a crowd. He calls you personally, tenderly by the name that belongs only to you. When Jesus walked among the people, he never lost sight of the individual heart. He did not merely preach to the masses. He sought out each soul with a love that was specific and personal. Remember Mary Magdalene on the morning of the resurrection. The garden was still heavy with dawn, shadows clinging to the path as she wept near the empty tomb. She thought all hope was gone, that death had the final word. Then she heard his soft, familiar voice. Mary, just her name, and in that instant, she knew.
The Lord she loved was alive.
It was not a sermon or a sign that awakened her heart, but the simple sound of her name spoken by Jesus. Think also of Zacchaeus, the tax collector who climbed a sycamore tree just to catch a glimpse of Jesus passing by. He had wealth but no peace, status but no affection. Others saw a man defined by his mistakes and greed. But as Jesus walked beneath the tree, he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately."
"I must stay at your house today." He called him by name before anyone else could.
That single word carried acceptance and a new beginning. This is the way of Jesus. He calls you not just the crowd, not merely humanity in general, but you. He knows the unique rhythm of your laughter, the quiet tremor of your sighs. He knows the questions you whisper in the dark and the dreams you scarcely dare to name. Nothing about you is hidden from his gaze, and nothing about you is too small for his love. Perhaps you have felt overlooked, as if the world is too busy to notice the ache you carry. Perhaps you have wondered if your life blends into the background, unseen and unremarkable. But hear this truth: the same Jesus who spoke Mary's name in the garden and called Zacchaeus down from the tree speaks your name even now. He has etched it on the palm of his hand. Isaiah 43:1 carries his promise. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name.
You are mine. These words are not a distant echo.
They are a present reality. The God who created the universe has chosen to know you personally. You belong to him. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine him near. Perhaps you cannot hear the sound of his voice with your ears, but in the quiet of your spirit, sense him calling you by name. Feel the warmth of being known not for what you do or how well you perform, but simply for who you are. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the shuffle of the world's endless noise. The one who knows every star by name knows you more intimately than you know yourself. He delights in the details of your life and holds your story with gentle hands. You don't need to hide the weight anymore. All day you've carried things no one else can fully see. Worries that twist in quiet corners of your mind. Memories that ache like an old bruise. The endless to-do list that never seems to rest. Some burdens are heavy with grief, others with guilt or the quiet pressure to be strong for everyone else. You've held them close because you felt you had to. But what if tonight you set it down? Take a slow, gentle breath and allow the question to settle in your heart.
What have you been carrying?
Maybe it's the sorrow of a loss that still feels raw even after time has passed. Maybe it's anxiety about tomorrow, about work, relationships, or a future that feels uncertain. Perhaps it's the guilt of words spoken in haste or choices you wish you could undo. Or it might be the quiet responsibility of caring for others, of showing up day after day, even when your own strength feels thin. Whatever it is, Jesus already knows. He has seen every hidden tear and every silent prayer. He understands the stories behind the heaviness that you can name and those you can barely put into words. And he does not turn away. In Matthew 11:28, he whispers, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." His invitation is not just for the visible struggles, it is for the secret ones too. Let your mind wander gently over the different pieces of your day, your week, your life. Notice what rises to the surface without forcing it. Maybe an old hurt comes quietly forward. or a fear you've tried to outrun. Maybe you see the weight of responsibility you've been carrying for those you love, or the self-criticism that never seems to stop. Whatever appears, don't judge it. Just notice. Now imagine these burdens like stones in your hands. Some may be small and sharp, others large and heavy. You've been gripping them so long your fingers are tired. Hear the words of 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. One by one, picture yourself placing those stones at the feet of Jesus. Feel the release as each one leaves your grasp. This is not about pretending the pain isn't real. It is about trusting that you don't have to carry it alone. Jesus does not scold you for the weight you hold. He reaches out with open hands, ready to take it. His love is strong enough for every burden, gentle enough for every fragile place. Stay here at this moment. Breathe in the quiet assurance that you are seen and understood. The burdens you name and the ones you cannot are already known to him. With every exhale, let go a little more. What if tonight you set it down? What if, just for now, you rested in the truth that you are not meant to carry everything by yourself? The Savior who knows every detail of your heart stands ready to hold what you cannot. You are safe in his care. And as we move forward, let this awareness remain. You can release the weight because his arms are already open, waiting to give you rest. His feet were made for burdens. The same feet that walked dusty roads to find the lost, that carried Jesus toward those who needed healing, are the feet that now stand ready to carry what you cannot. There's nothing too messy for him to hold, no fear too dark, no grief too deep, no worry too tangled. Tonight, you are invited into a quiet, sacred exchange to lay down what weighs on you and let him bear it. Take a slow breath. Feel the air move in and out, steady and calm. As you breathe, imagine you are walking along a soft path at dusk. The world around you grows quiet. The last light of the day spills across the sky in gentle gold. Ahead, you see Jesus. His presence is not distant or stern. He waits for you with a kindness that melts every fear. In your hands, picture the burdens you carry. Maybe they appear as stones large or small, smooth or jagged. Each one holds a piece of what you've been holding inside, the anxiety that keeps you awake, the guilt that lingers, the sorrow you rarely name aloud, the weight of caring for others when your own heart feels tired. Let each stone represent a burden, a silent ache. Hear the words of 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. These are not just words to read, they are an invitation to act. With each slow breath, choose one. Burden, feel its weight in your hand. Whisper, if you wish, what it holds. Fear, regret, worry, grief, and step forward and place it at his feet. As you set it down, notice how he receives it. He does not flinch or turn away. His eyes are gentle, his hands open. The burden you thought you had to carry alone is now resting in the care of the one whose love does not waver. Now take another breath and lift the next stone. Perhaps this one is the quiet pressure you put on yourself, the voice that tells you to always be strong.
Offer it to him. Hear his words from Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened,
and I will give you rest. Let those words sink into the deepest parts of your soul. Continue, stone by stone, burden by burden. There is no rush. With each release, your hands grow lighter. The tightness in your chest begins to ease. You may even feel tears or a quiet sigh you didn't know you were holding. This is the holy exchange of your heaviness for his peace. Isaiah 53:4 reminds us, surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. He has already carried what you bring. Nothing you set down surprises him. Nothing is too messy or too small. Now pause and simply stand with him. Your hands are empty, but your heart is full of his presence. Feel the quiet relief of knowing that the weight is no longer yours to bear. If a burden tries to return to your thoughts, picture it again at his feet. See his steady gaze, the quiet strength in his eyes. Trust that he will hold it. You are not asked to take it back. Let this moment become a prayer without words. Every breath is grace.
Every breath is released.
Rest in the truth that Jesus delights to carry what you lay down. He carried what you couldn't. Long before you felt the ache of today's burdens, before the weight of disappointment or grief pressed against your chest, Jesus bore it all. You were in his heart, even then. The story of the cross is not only about nails and wood. It is the story of love carrying every sorrow you would ever know. Imagine the morning when he was led through the narrow streets of Jerusalem. The air is heavy with dust, the crowd pressing in, voices rising with accusation and jeers. A rough wooden cross lay across his shoulders, heavy, splintered, unrelenting. Every step was a choice to love you. Every breath drawn through pain held your name. The prophet Isaiah spoke of this moment long before it came. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53:4-5. This was not an accident of history. It was the quiet plan of a God who refused to leave you alone in your suffering. Think of the weight he carried, not only the beam of the cross, but the invisible burden of human sorrow. He carried the loneliness you feel when no one seems to understand. He carried the grief of every loss, the sting of betrayal, the silent struggles you never share. He carried the shame you wish you could erase and the guilt you cannot undo. Each step toward Calvary was a step toward you. When the cross grew too heavy, a man named Simon of Cyrene was pulled from the crowd to help. Even then, Jesus bore the deeper weight of sin and heartbreak alone. Yet there was no bitterness in him, only love. With every faltering step, he declared without words that nothing you suffer is unseen and nothing you fear is beyond his compassion. At the place called Golgotha, they nailed his hands and feet to the wood. The sky darkened, the earth trembled, and in that hour, every wound of humanity was gathered into his own. Your sorrow, your doubt,
Your unspoken pain.
all of it held in his body, not to crush you, but to free you. Perhaps you have felt misunderstood, as if no one can carry the depth of your pain. Hear this: Jesus has already carried it. The cross was not only about the sins of the world, it was about your story, your heart, your nights of quiet tears. As he hung there, he whispered words of forgiveness. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34.
Even in agony, his heart turned toward mercy.
And when he breathed his final words, "It is finished," he declared that nothing could separate you from the love of God. The weight of your suffering, your regret, your fear, was lifted into his own. This is not a story of despair. It is a story of redemption. His death opened the way for life. His sacrifice turned the darkest hour into the beginning of hope. Tonight, as you sit in quiet reflection, picture your burdens once more, the grief, the worry, the hidden ache. See them resting on his shoulders, already carried up that hill, already taken into his love. You are not alone in your pain. It has been known and borne by the one who gave everything to bring you peace. You were in his heart even then. And because he carried what you couldn't, you can rest now, not in your own strength, but in the unshakable love of the one who has already carried it all. You don't have to earn forgiveness. In a world that often measures worth by effort and achievement, this may be the hardest truth to believe. But God's grace is not a prize for the perfect. It is a gift for the weary and the broken, for those who know how heavy guilt can feel. Even on your worst day, grace still finds you. Perhaps you know the weight of regret, the quiet moments when memories return and you wish you could rewrite the past. Maybe it is a sharp word spoken in anger, a choice that left a wound, or a season when you drifted far from God. The burden of shame can press against the soul like a stone too heavy to move. But listen to the invitation of Psalm 103:12. As far as the east is from the west, so far has He removed our transgressions from us. God's forgiveness does not merely lessen your guilt, it removes it completely and forever. Picture the cross again. Jesus' arms stretched wide, not only to bear pain, but to open the door to mercy. His sacrifice was not partial or conditional. He did not offer forgiveness only if you could prove yourself worthy. He gave it freely, knowing every failure, every doubt, every hidden fault. Romans 5:8 says, "But God demonstrates His own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." The grace that flows from the cross is stronger than every sin you can name. Forgiveness is not about pretending nothing happened. It is about letting the love of Christ cover what you cannot fix. When you bring your heart to Him, He does not shame you or demand repayment. He welcomes you as a beloved child. He wipes the slate clean, and in doing so, He gives rest to your soul. This is the rest that no amount of striving can earn. It is the peace of knowing that you are fully known and fully accepted. You do not have to hide the broken pieces or polish your story to be worthy of His love. In 1 John 1:9 we are promised, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. His faithfulness, not yours, is the foundation of your forgiveness. Take a slow breath and let these words sink in. You are forgiven. Not halfway, not temporarily, completely. The burden you have carried, the fear of not being good enough, the guilt that kept you awake is lifted. Grace has found you and will not let you go. Allow yourself to rest in that truth. Imagine the weight sliding from your shoulders, the tightness in your chest easing. The same Jesus who spoke peace to storms now speaks peace to your soul. Forgiveness is rest. It is the quiet assurance that your past does not define you and your future is held in His hands. Tonight, let grace be the pillow for your heart. You are free, you are loved, and nothing can separate you from the mercy of God. Healing doesn't come on a timer. There is no clock ticking over your head, no schedule you must meet before God will welcome you.
You're not behind. You're held.
The pace of Jesus is never hurried, and His presence is never impatient. He knows exactly where you are in your journey, and He loves you right there. Perhaps you have felt the quiet pressure to be further along, spiritually stronger, emotionally steadier, already past the pain that lingers. Maybe you've wondered why you still wrestle with questions or why old wounds still ache. But Jesus is not keeping score. He is not measuring your progress against someone else's. He simply draws near, offering the kind of companionship that waits without rushing. Remember His words in Matthew 11:29, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." His gentleness means He meets you in the exact place you are not where you think you should be. He does not demand that you heal faster or understand everything. He offers rest, not deadlines.
Faith? Awe fell over the disciples as they whispered to one another, "Even the wind and the waves obey Him."
This story from Mark 4 is more than a memory of a distant miracle. It is a picture of the life you live now. The storms around you may look like different pressures at work, conflicts at home, finances stretched thin, unexpected news that shakes your heart. The wind may howl through phone calls and headlines. The waves may rise in your thoughts late at night. But the one who commands creation still speaks. His voice is not drowned by the chaos. Notice where your own storm rages. Perhaps it is the fear of what tomorrow will bring, the tension of responsibilities that never seem to ease, the quiet ache of a relationship under strain. You don't have to pretend the storm isn't real. Jesus never asked his disciples to deny the wind. He simply showed that the storm was never stronger than his voice. Picture him now, standing beside you as the winds of your life swirl. His presence is not frantic.
His eyes are not anxious.
He speaks to the turmoil within you. Peace. Be still. And even if the circumstances around you do not change at once, his words create a calm that begins inside your heart. Philippians 4:7 promises the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the presence of the one who holds all things together. Take a slow breath and let his peace settle into the places where worry has taken root. With each inhale, receive his calm. With each exhale, release your fear. Imagine the storm losing its grip, not because life is suddenly perfect, but because his voice has claimed the final word. The wind listens to him. The waves bow to his authority, and your heart too can rest in the quiet he brings. Tonight, allow the story of the calming of the storm to wash over your spirit. Let it remind you that no matter how fierce the winds outside, the stillness within is always possible in him. As we move forward, carry this truth: the storms of life will come and go, but the voice of Jesus is steady and sure. His peace is stronger than the chaos. And when he speaks, even the wind obeys. Peace doesn't mean answers. It means presence. The kind of peace God offers is not built on everything making sense, or on life turning out exactly as you hoped. It is something far deeper, a calm that lives beyond understanding, even when the path ahead is hidden. Philippians 4:6-7 gives a gentle invitation. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. These words do not promise that every problem will vanish or that every question will be answered. They promise something even better, a supernatural peace that holds you steady when life feels uncertain. Maybe you know the restless need to figure everything out. You turn over possibilities in your mind late at night, rehearsing what-ifs, searching for a plan that will protect you from every outcome. The more you try to control, the more anxious you feel. God's peace does not depend on control. It comes when you bring your worries to him honestly, without pretense, and trust that his care is stronger than your own grasp. Picture yourself sitting quietly with God. Before you,
lay the pieces of your life, the decisions waiting for clarity.
the relationships that ache with tension, the fears you can't name. Speak them to him in prayer, even if your words are simple or broken. Then with a deep breath, imagine placing each concern in his hand. As you release these burdens, notice the shift. The circumstances may remain the same. The questions may still linger, but something within you begins to settle like a pond growing still after a stone has been thrown. This is the peace that passes understanding. It is not tied to answers. It flows from the nearness of God himself. Jesus promised this very gift. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you.
I do not give to you as the world gives.
Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14:27. His peace is not fragile. It does not depend on the rise and fall of circumstances. It is steady like the heartbeat of heaven, guarding your mind and heart when everything around you feels uncertain. Even if nothing changes, your heart can be still. This is not denial, it is trust. The God who shaped the stars holds your story with the same careful hands. He's not surprised by what confuses you.
He's not shaken by what you fear.
His presence is the answer your soul truly needs. Take another slow breath and let his promise rest in you. The peace of God will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. Let that peace become like a quiet shield, a gentle covering over every anxious thought. Can you feel the stillness beside you? The shepherd always leads with peace. Psalm 23 is more than a poem you may have heard in childhood. It is an invitation into a living, breathing calm. Tonight, let its words become a gentle path for your heart and mind. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Breathe in slowly, letting these words settle. Imagine a quiet meadow where the air carries the scent of wildflowers. The sun is soft, not harsh. The shepherd stands nearby, his presence steady and kind. You lack nothing at this moment because he is here. With each inhale, take in the assurance that you are fully cared for. With each exhale, release the worry that you must provide everything on your own. He makes me lie down in green pastures. See the grass, lush and cool beneath you. The ground is soft, the earth firm and welcoming. The shepherd gently guides you to a place of rest, not forcing, not demanding, only inviting. Feel the way the tension in your shoulders begins to ease, the way your breathing slows. Here, in his care, you are safe. He leads me beside still waters. Now picture a stream, its surface smooth as glass. The water reflects the quiet blue of the sky, rippling only when a gentle breeze passes. The sound is like a lullaby, soft and steady. The shepherd walks beside you and you can hear the water's quiet song. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in the peace of these still waters. As you breathe out, let every anxious thought drift away like leaves on the current. He restores my soul. Let these words wash over you like the water itself. This is more than rest for your body, it is renewal for your spirit. The places inside you that feel tired or worn are being gently refreshed. You don't have to earn this restoration. It flows naturally from the shepherd's presence. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Feel the assurance of his guidance. You do not have to know every turn ahead. The path is steady beneath your feet because he leads. With each step, you are surrounded by a quiet confidence that you are not lost, that his wisdom holds your journey. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Even in the dark valleys, those places of grief, uncertainty, or fear, the shepherd is close. Picture his staff in hand, the symbol of protection and guidance. You are not alone in the shadow. His presence is your comfort. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Imagine a table set with care, even in the midst of challenges. His provision is not shaken by what surrounds you. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. The shepherd's blessing is abundant, spilling over the edges of your life. His goodness is not measured. It is lavish. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Let these final words settle deep inside. Goodness and love will not merely visit, they will follow you every day, every step. Every season, breathe in the still waters. Breathe out the weight of today. Let the imagery of Psalm 23 become a living reality in your heart. The meadow, the stream, the shepherd's gentle hand. His peace is not a distant dream. It is here now, surrounding you like the quiet of evening. As you linger in this place of rest, remember, the shepherd always leads with peace. And wherever you walk next, his stillness goes with you, a calm that nothing can take away. Let the Psalms be your lullaby. Long before your restless nights and racing thoughts, the psalmists poured their own worries, hopes, and prayers into songs for the dark. David wrote these in the quiet hours when fears were close and answers were far away, just like you. Tonight, their words can cradle your heart and help you drift into the deep rest God longs to give. Listen first to the gentle assurance of Psalm 4:8. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Breathe these words slowly. This is not the fragile peace the world offers, dependent on circumstances or control. It is the shelter of God's presence, a safety that does not falter even when your mind feels unsettled. Imagine yourself lying down in that promise, knowing that the Lord Himself keeps watch over you. Psalm 23, so familiar and yet always fresh, whispers again, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. Picture those green pastures in the moonlight, the still waters glowing under the stars. The shepherd is near, inviting you to rest not just your body, but the deepest places of your heart. You do not have to hold everything together tonight. He is holding you. From Psalm 91:1-2 comes a song of protection. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Feel the strength of these words like a quiet fortress around you.
The shadow of the Almighty is not a place of fear. It is a gentle covering, a refuge where you can finally let go of every anxious thought. Now hear the night prayer of Psalm 63:6-7. On my bed I remember you.
I think of you through the watches of the night.
Because you are my help, I sing in the shadow of your wings. David knew the long hours when sleep feels far away. He turned those moments into worship, finding comfort in the thought of God's wings soft, sheltering, strong. As you lie awake, know that you too rest beneath those wings. Psalm 121 offers a final blessing. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber.
Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. While you sleep, God does not. His vigilance is not anxious. It is tender and sure. You can release the night into His care, knowing that the one who keeps you never closes His eyes. Let these psalms settle like a gentle melody in your mind. Each verse is a thread of comfort, weaving a blanket of peace around you. Their words have carried countless hearts through centuries of sleepless nights, and they carry you now. Close your eyes and breathe in the stillness. The psalmists knew what it was to face darkness and uncertainty, and they found their rest in the presence of God. You can too. Tonight, allow their ancient songs to quiet your racing thoughts. Let the Psalms be your lullaby, and let the God who inspired them hold you as you drift into His perfect peace. He didn't leave, He slept beside you. Before He calms the storm, He calms you. The story of Jesus on the Sea of Galilee is not just about the miracle of the wind and waves obeying His voice. It is about the quiet, unshakable presence of the one who never steps out of the boat, even when the storm rages. Picture the night again. The disciples had set out across the lake, their boat rocking gently at first under a canopy of stars. Then the wind began to rise. What started as a breeze turned into a fierce squall, the kind of sudden storm that could capsize a boat in moments. Waves crashed over the sides, drenching their clothes and filling the vessel with cold, churning water. Fear pulsed through every heartbeat. And where was Jesus? As the storm roared, he slept on a cushion in the stern. Not because he didn't care, but because his peace was deeper than the storm's fury. He knew something the disciples had not yet grasped, that his presence was already their safety. When they woke him, their voices shook.
Teacher, don't you care if we drown?
It is a question we still whisper when life feels overwhelming.
Lord, don't you see what I'm facing? Don't you care how afraid I am?
And Jesus rose, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Instantly the sea grew calm. But even before the wind obeyed, his presence had never wavered. This is the heart of the story for you tonight. Before he calms the storm, he calms you. His nearness is not dependent on the waves settling. He is with you in the middle of the chaos, steady, unmovable, unafraid. Psalm 46:1 says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." Ever-present, not just when the trouble is over. Perhaps you feel like you are still in it. The diagnosis still uncertain, the relationship still strained, the future still unclear. Maybe the wind of worry has been relentless, and the waves of responsibility keep rising. Hear this: Jesus has not stepped out of your boat. He has not turned his face away. Close your eyes and imagine him beside you. The air is damp with mist, the boat sways beneath your feet. Yet his presence is steady like a heartbeat of quiet strength. He's not startled by the size of your storm. He is not pacing or wringing his hands. He rests because he knows the end from the beginning. In your own storm, you may not yet see the calm, but his peace can reach you now. John 14:27 reminds us of his promise. "Peace I leave with you,
My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives."
Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. This peace is not the result of everything making sense.
It is the gift of his presence. Let that truth settle into your spirit. He is in the boat with you.
The waves may rise, the night may stretch on, but you are not alone. The same hands that stilled the sea hold you now. As you breathe in the quiet of this moment, release the need for immediate answers. The storm does not have the final word, his presence does. Even if the wind continues to blow, you can rest against the certainty of his companionship. He didn't leave. He sleeps beside you, not in indifference, but in perfect confidence. Before he calms the storm, he calms you. And as you journey through this night, may that assurance steady your heart. The one who commands the sea has never let go of you, and he never will. Jesus slept too. On the very night when a storm raged across the Sea of Galilee, while waves battered the boat and seasoned fishermen feared for their lives, Jesus lay asleep on a cushion, his breathing slow and steady, his body at peace. He knew what we often forget, that rest is not weakness. It is trust. Your rest is an act of faith. Every night when you close your eyes, you place your life in hands you cannot see. You release control of the world for a few hours, trusting that God keeps watch while you sleep. Psalm 127:2 says, "He grants sleep to those he loves." Sleep is not an afterthought or a luxury. It is a gift from the God who designed your body and soul. Perhaps you have wrestled with sleep, tossing and turning, your mind busy with tomorrow's worries or yesterday's regrets. Maybe you feel guilty for pausing, as if the work will pile up while you rest. But the Lord who formed the stars also formed this rhythm of night and day. He invites you to step into it, not as an escape, but as a holy rhythm of trust. Remember how Jesus often withdrew from the crowds to pray and to rest. Even the Son of God honored the need for quiet and renewal. He taught his disciples to come away and rest, knowing that our human limits are not flaws but part of God's design. To sleep is to agree with God that you do not have to hold the world together, that he already does. Picture the psalmist's words in Psalm 4:8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." Notice the confidence in that verse. Peace does not come from a perfectly ordered life. It comes from the presence of a God who watches over you. When you surrender to sleep, you are placing your trust in his care. Think of your body as it prepares for rest. Your breathing slows, your muscles soften, Your heartbeat settles into a gentle rhythm. Each part of you was made by the Creator to follow this nightly pattern. As you drift into sleep, your soul whispers a quiet prayer. Lord, I trust you with what I cannot control. Sleep is more than physical restoration. It is a sacred pause, a time when God renews what you cannot renew yourself. Psalm 3:5 declares, I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. Every morning you rise as a quiet miracle, a reminder that life is held not by your effort, but by His sustaining grace. If you have felt restless, if sleep has been hard to find, let this truth be your comfort. You are not failing when you rest. You are living in the pattern God gave you. Jesus slept too. The one who holds the universe invites you to release the day into His care. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, imagine placing every concern, every unfinished task, every hidden worry into His hands. Let His peace be the soft pillow beneath your head. Your rest is an act of faith, a declaration that God is God and you are His beloved. So breathe deeply. Allow your thoughts to quiet. The night is not a void to fear, but a sacred space where God's love surrounds you. As you close your eyes, remember, the same Lord who never slumbers is watching over you. Sleep is His gift, and in His presence it is holy. God isn't waiting for you to be strong. He isn't standing at a distance with crossed arms, waiting for you to prove you can handle one more thing. He draws near when you are tired, when your strength has run out, when even your hope feels thin. His love does not depend on how much you can carry. It meets you in the very place where you have nothing left to give. Isaiah 40:29-31 speaks this promise with quiet power. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. And these words are not a challenge to try harder. They are an invitation to receive what only God can give. Even the strongest among us eventually reach the end of our own resources. Maybe you have been pushing through long days, caring for others, holding responsibilities that never seem to lighten. Perhaps you've been smiling through the ache, showing up even when your soul feels heavy. The world often celebrates relentless effort, but God sees the quiet truth. You are human, and you were never meant to carry it all alone. Take a slow breath and let those verses from Isaiah wrap around you. He gives strength to the weary, not to the ones who seem to have it all together, but to the weary, to you. He increases the power of the weak. His strength does not wait for you to become strong. It comes precisely when you feel empty. Think of Jesus in His ministry, how often He welcomed the worn and the weary. He invited the tired to come to Him for rest, not for more striving. He touched the sick, comforted the grieving, and restored the broken. His compassion was not reserved for the energetic. It overflowed for those who had nothing left. Perhaps tonight you feel like you cannot run another step. You are not alone in that feeling. The scripture says even the young and strong will stumble and fall. Exhaustion is not failure. Is part of being human, and it is exactly where God's strength can meet you. Close your eyes and picture the image Isaiah gives, soaring on wings like eagles. Notice the effortless glide of the eagle, the way it rises not by frantic flapping, but by resting in the current of the wind. This is the kind of strength God gives, not the exhausting push of your own effort, but the lift of His Spirit carrying you. Maybe for now you will not feel like soaring. Maybe you are simply walking one small step at a time. Hear the promise again. They will walk and not faint. Even when running feels impossible, even when you can only take a single step, God's presence sustains you. His strength does not always arrive as a sudden burst of energy. Sometimes it comes as the quiet ability to keep moving, to keep breathing, to keep hoping. God isn't waiting for you to be strong. He is ready to give you His strength right here, right now. Let your exhaustion be the very place where His power enters. Breathe in His promise. Breathe out the pressure to perform. Even the faint will rise. Not because you willed it, but because His love lifts you. Tonight, rest in the truth that when you have run out of strength, you are exactly where His strength begins. He prayed while they slept. He still does. Even while you rest, heaven stays awake. On the night before the cross, Jesus went with His disciples to a quiet grove called Gethsemane. The garden was cool with evening air, the olive trees bending gently in the breeze. He asked His closest friends, Peter, James, and John, to keep watch while He prayed. His heart was heavy, His spirit pressed by the weight of what was to come. "Stay here and keep watch with me," He said. And then He stepped a little farther into the shadows. He fell to the ground and prayed, His words trembling with the depth of His sorrow. "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." The night was thick with silence, except for His quiet cries. When He returned to His friends, He found them sleeping. Their eyes were heavy. Their bodies had given in to exhaustion. 3 times He prayed. 3 times He found them asleep. And yet He did not turn away from them. He understood their weakness. He knew their love was real, even though their strength had limits. This scene is more than a moment in history. It is a window into the heart of Jesus. He prayed while they slept. He still does. When you close your eyes and the world fades into dreams, He remains awake. When your mind finally surrenders the day, He continues to intercede for you. Romans 8:34 reminds us that Christ is at the right hand of God and is also interceding for us. This means that even now Jesus speaks your name in prayer. While you sleep, when you cannot hold all the pieces of your life together, He holds them for you. Perhaps you fear what happens when you let go, when you are no longer in control or able to keep watch over the people and plans you care about. Let the Garden of Gethsemane speak to that fear. Your Savior has already stayed awake through the darkest night. He carried the weight of the world while His friends slept. He carries yours still. Close your eyes and picture Him in the quiet of that garden. The stars above shimmer like distant candles. The olive trees whisper in the night air. Hear His steady voice praying not only for the disciples, but for all who would follow Him, including you. His prayers are not hurried. They are not bound by time. They flow like an endless river of love and care. Even while you rest, heaven stays awake. The same Jesus who prayed that night now watches over you. You do not have to keep the world spinning through the long hours. You do not have to fear what you might miss. The one who never slumbers guards your life with a love that never grows tired. So as you drift towards sleep, let this truth settle deep within. He prayed while they slept. He still does. Your rest is safe in His keeping, and His prayers will carry you through the night. Tomorrow isn't yours to carry. Tonight you can let it rest in hands far stronger and more loving than your own. He's already in your morning. Before you open your eyes, before the first light slips across the sky, God will already be there, steady, patient,
ready with new mercies. So often,
when night falls and the house grows quiet, our thoughts grow loud. The mind rehearses tomorrow's tasks, relives today's conversations, and tries to solve problems that haven't even come. Perhaps you know that restless turning, the endless what-ifs, the plans you fear will crumble, the worry that if you stop thinking, everything might fall apart. But listen to Jesus' words in Matthew 6:34. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. These words are not a dismissal of your concerns. They are a gentle invitation to trust the one who already holds what you fear. Psalm 121 reminds us, "The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore." The God who neither slumbers nor sleeps will be present in every moment you have yet to live. While you rest, He prepares the day ahead. His care is not limited by time or darkness. His presence reaches beyond the edge of night and into every dawn. Take a slow breath and imagine the morning you are worried about. Perhaps it holds a meeting, a conversation, a decision, or simply the unknown. Picture it in your mind like a bundle you have been carrying in your arms. It may feel heavy with expectation or fear. Now, in the quiet of this moment, picture yourself placing that bundle into the open hands of Jesus. His hands are sure and gentle. He does not shrink from the weight. He welcomes it. Hear His promise from Lamentations 3:22-23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Tomorrow's mercies are already on their way. You do not have to earn them. They will meet you when you wake, as certain as the sunrise. If words help you release the worry, whisper a simple prayer. Lord, I give you the morning. I give you every task, every unknown, every hope and fear. I trust that you will be there before I arrive. Your prayer does not have to be perfect or long. God hears the heart behind each breath. Consider Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. These words invite you to surrender, not because you have figured out the path, but because He already knows it. Trust is not about having every answer. It is about resting in the One who does. As you breathe in and out, let your body feel the freedom of letting go. Your shoulders can soften, your jaw can unclench. The future does not depend on your sleepless planning. The God who shaped the stars and calls them by name is already present in the hours you have yet to see. Tomorrow isn't yours to carry. Tonight it is enough to rest. He's already in your morning, whispering peace over the hours ahead, arranging mercies you cannot yet imagine. Close your eyes and let the night wrap around you with quiet confidence. The dawn belongs to Him, and so do you. You'll be carried from breath to breath. Morning will come, but tonight you are held. As you drift towards sleep, let these words become the soft covering of your heart. The night is not something to fear. It is the gentle space where God's presence wraps around you like a quiet shelter. Psalm 121:3-4 offers this promise. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. While your eyes grow heavy and your mind releases the day, God remains fully awake. His watch is not restless. It is peaceful and sure. He holds every moment of the night in hands that will not fail. Think of the way a parent watches over a sleeping child. The child does not need to stay awake to ensure love and protection. They simply breathe and rest, confident that they are safe. In the same way your Father watches over you. Every breath you take is a quiet hymn of trust. Every heartbeat a reminder that you are not alone. Isaiah 46:4 carries this gentle assurance. Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you. These words are not bound by time. They are as true tonight as they were the moment they were first spoken. God does not grow weary. He does not set you down when the path grows dark. He carries your body, mind, and spirit through the shadowed hours. Picture His presence now, close as the rhythm of your own breathing. There is no rush, no demand. Only the steady nearness of one who holds you without effort. The anxieties of tomorrow can rest. The memories of today can fade into quiet. You are safe in the arms of the one who never sleeps. As you inhale, imagine drawing in his peace, soft and deep, like the still air before dawn. As you exhale, release the weight of the day. Each breath becomes a prayer without words, a silent surrender to the God who carries you. Hear the blessing of Numbers 6:24-26 as a gentle whisper over your night. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. These ancient words are a lullaby for the soul, a reminder that his face is turned toward you in kindness even as you sleep. If worries rise again, do not struggle against them. Let them drift like clouds across a moonlit sky. God's faithfulness does not depend on your perfect stillness. It is his gift. You need only rest in the truth that you are held. Morning will come. The sun will rise and new mercies will greet you. But for now, this is enough. You are carried through the night by a love that never grows tired. So close your eyes and let the darkness become a gentle friend. You'll be carried from breath to breath, every moment cradled by the one who holds the stars in place and calls you his own. Tonight and every night, you are safe in his keeping, wrapped in the quiet promise of unending peace. He commands angels concerning you. You are surrounded by light even now. Though the night stretches long and the world outside grows quiet, you are never unguarded. God has placed his watch over you, a shield that does not sleep, a presence that does not fade. The scriptures are full of this promise, and tonight it becomes a gentle song of protection for your heart. Psalm 91:11-12 speaks with a steady assurance. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. These are not empty words or poetic wishes. They are the declaration of a God who sends his messengers of light to surround those he loves.
Even when you cannot see them, even when you feel most vulnerable, his care is constant. Think of the night when shepherds kept watch over their flocks outside Bethlehem.
The fields lay under a canopy of stars, and suddenly the sky was bright with a host of angels. They came to announce the birth of Christ, singing of peace and joy. Their presence turned a dark hillside into a place of wonder. The same God who filled the sky with light sends his angels, still not always in dazzling display, but often in quiet, unseen ways that guard and guide. Remember the story in 2 Kings 6, when the prophet Elisha's servant awoke to find their city surrounded by an enemy army. Fear gripped his heart, but Elisha prayed, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." And the servant looked again, to behold the hills full of horses and chariots of fire, heaven's army encircling them. What looked like certain defeat was already covered by God's protection.
You too are surrounded by that same unseen care. Perhaps tonight you feel exposed by worry, by loneliness, by the quiet fears that visit after dark.
Maybe you have known moments when you wondered if anyone sees or protects you. Let these stories remind you, you are not alone. You are surrounded by light even now. God's angels do not replace his presence. They carry it. They are a sign that his love is both tender and strong, attentive to every detail of your life. Hebrews 1:14 calls them ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. That includes you. Whether you are aware of them or not, they move at his command, guarding, guiding, comforting. Their work is not to draw attention to themselves, but to reflect the care of the one who sent them. Close your eyes and picture a gentle circle of light around you. Not a harsh glare, but a soft radiance like moonlight on water. You may not see wings or hear a sound, but feel the quiet confidence that you are held in God's keeping. The angels he commands are not distant figures of legend. They are real expressions of his promise. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 28:20. Take a slow breath and let that truth settle deep within. The night is not a threat to the one who made it. His light cannot be dimmed. His protection does not waver. As you breathe out, release the tension of fear. As you breathe in, receive the peace of knowing that heaven's watch is over you. He commands angels concerning you. You are surrounded by light even now. Rest in the assurance that while you sleep, the God who loves you has placed his messengers near. Their presence is his promise. You are never alone, and you are always safe in his care. His arms never close early. You are not a guest, you're home. Picture the story Jesus told in Luke 15. A son wandered far from his father's house, chasing his own way until everything he held slipped through his fingers. Hungry and ashamed, he finally turned back, rehearsing the words of apology he would speak. He expected judgment. He expected distance. But while he was still far off, his father saw him. Compassion surged through the father's heart, and he ran to his child. Before the son could finish his prepared speech, his father wrapped him in an embrace. That is the heart of God toward you. He does not wait for you to have the right words or a perfect record. His arms are already open, reaching for you long before you take the first step toward him. The love of the Father is not cautious or reserved. It rushes forward, overflowing the boundaries of your fear and regret. Maybe your experience of a father has left wounds, absence, disappointment, or silence. Perhaps the very word father stirs more ache than comfort. But the embrace of God is not a reflection of human failure. It is the healing of it. He is the Father who never leaves, whose patience does not wear thin, whose love does not depend on your performance. Psalm 103:13 says, "As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him." His compassion is not a fleeting feeling. It is a steady presence. He knows your story, every hidden hurt, every unspoken longing, and he draws you close without hesitation. Close your eyes and imagine his embrace. Feel the warmth of arms that hold you without condition. There is no checklist here, no need to prove that you belong. You are not a visitor waiting to be invited in. You are his child, and you are home. In that embrace, the voices of shame grow quiet. The pressure to earn love fades. His love is not a reward for getting everything right. It is the starting place of your life. Hear his whisper from Isaiah 41:10. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Those hands are the very ones that formed you, and tonight they hold you still. You may have wandered, you may carry scars, but his arms never close early. You are not a guest, you're home. Rest there now and let the Father's embrace be the shelter your heart has been longing for. He finished what you couldn't. The words Jesus spoke from the cross, "It is finished," John 19:30, are more than the closing line of his earthly life. They are a declaration of freedom for every weary soul, an eternal invitation to rest.
Rest, not because you're done, but because he is. Imagine the scene that afternoon on Calvary.
The sky, once bright, had grown heavy with darkness. The crowd that gathered was restless, some mocking, some mourning, all unaware of the depth of what was unfolding. Jesus, bruised and broken, hung between earth and heaven. Every breath came with effort, every word soaked in both pain and purpose. And then, with a final breath, he said, "It is finished." Not a cry of defeat, but a proclamation of victory. The Greek word recorded in Scripture is tetelestai, a term used in that time to signify a debt fully paid, a task completely accomplished. With those 3 words, Jesus announced that the work of salvation was complete.
Nothing left undone.
Nothing more for you to earn. For the perfectionist heart, always striving, always measuring worth by what is accomplished, these words are a gentle revolution. You no longer have to carry the impossible weight of proving yourself to God. The sin that separated you has been paid for once and for all. The love you long for is already secured. Hebrews 10:12 tells us, "But when this priest had offered for all time one sacrifice for sins, he sat down at the right hand of God." To sit down is to signify completion. The work is done. There is no hidden clause, no unfinished requirement. Christ's sacrifice is enough. Think of the ways you have tried to earn approval through work, through relationships, even through faith itself. Perhaps you felt the quiet fear that you are never quite enough, that rest is something you must earn at the end of perfect effort. Jesus' final words speak directly to that fear. It is finished. You are invited to rest not because you have tied up every loose end, but because He has. This is not permission to stop caring or to withdraw from life. It is the freedom to live from grace instead of striving for it. It means that when you fail, you are still covered. When you doubt yourself, you are still loved. When you cannot see the way forward, the path has already been secured by His sacrifice. Picture yourself at the foot of the cross. The ground is quiet now. The crowd has begun to disperse. The sky slowly clears. You stand before the place where love gives everything. The words "it is finished" still echo, not as an ending, but as the beginning of your freedom. Take a deep breath and let the truth settle into every corner of your heart. You do not have to earn what has already been given. The debt is paid. The striving can cease. The restless need to prove yourself can finally exhale. Rest tonight in the completeness of His work. Rest not because you're done, but because He is. The cross has spoken a word that cannot be undone. It is finished. And because of that, you are free to live, to breathe, to rest in the unshakable love of the one who finished it all for you. I will both lie down and sleep in peace. This is the hour of rest. Let go. The night has come as a quiet gift, wrapping the world in gentle darkness. You have walked through many words and stories, and now the time has arrived to release them all. Breathe in the stillness that fills the room. Breathe out the weight of the day. This is the moment to rest in the presence of the one who never sleeps. Hear the promise of Psalm 4:8. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. These words are not a wish, they are a certainty. Your safety tonight does not depend on how tightly you hold your worries or how carefully you plan for tomorrow. It rests in the unfailing care of God, who guards your heart and mind even as you dream. Slow your breathing. Feel the quiet rhythm of air entering and leaving your lung. With each gentle inhale, imagine drawing in His peace. With each soft exhale, picture your fears floating away like mist over still water. Psalm 91 whispers its comfort. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. Imagine the softness of those wings, a shelter, warm and strong. You are hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. The night is not a threat, but a sanctuary. As your thoughts begin to slow, let the words of Numbers 6:24-26 become a blessing over your night. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Let each line settle like a gentle melody, soothing every restless corner of your mind. This is the hour of rest. Let go. Let go of what you cannot change. Let go of what tomorrow holds. The God who shaped the stars holds the coming day in His hands. Psalm 121:3-4 promises, He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. While you close your eyes, God remains awake. His vigilance is not anxious. It is tender and sure. If stray thoughts drift in, do not fight them. Let them pass like clouds across a quiet sky. Your only task is to rest. The shepherd who leads you beside still waters now keeps watch over your night. Feel your body grow heavy with comfort. Your shoulders soften, your jaw relaxes, your heartbeat finds an easy rhythm. Each breath is a quiet prayer of trust. Lord, I rest in you. I will both lie down and sleep in peace. Let these ancient words become the final thought before sleep. The one who neither slumbers nor sleeps surrounds you with unfailing love. The night is his gift. Your rest is his blessing. Now close your eyes fully and let the hush of his presence carry you.
This is the hour of rest. Let go.
You are safe, you are loved, and you can sleep in perfect peace. When your eyes open, he'll still be there. The God who kept you through the night will greet you at dawn. His presence is not bound to these words or to the sound of this moment. Long after this gentle narration fades, his love continues, steady as the coming sunrise. All through Scripture, God promises that his care does not sleep. Lamentations 3:22-23 says, "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Before the first light touches the horizon, before the birds begin their song, his mercy is already waiting. The morning is not something you must create or earn. It is a gift he has already prepared. Think of the night as it slowly gives way to day. The dark sky begins to pale, the stars fade like quiet candles, and the world stirs with the hush of new beginnings. This is how God's presence greets you gently, without hurry, without demand. His love is as certain as the sunrise, and his faithfulness stretches from one day to the next without pause. Perhaps you have feared the emptiness of morning, worried that when the night ends, you might wake to loneliness or uncertainty. Hear the comfort of Psalm 139:18. "When I awake, I am still with you." These words were written long ago, but they speak to your heart tonight. The God who watches over you as you sleep will not step away when the first light comes. He will be as near in the morning as he is now in the quiet of night. Close your eyes and picture the first soft glow of dawn spilling across the edges of the sky. Imagine the gentle light touching your room, warming your face, whispering of a new day. God is already in that light, already present in the hours you have not yet lived. The same hands that held you through the night will guide you through the morning. You do not need to fear what tomorrow brings. Matthew 28:20 holds the promise of Jesus' own words. "Surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." His presence does not depend on how strong your faith feels or how perfectly you pray. It is his gift, unchanging, unshaken, and unending. As you drift towards sleep, let your final thoughts be filled with this assurance. The God who kept you through the night will greet you at dawn. Even if the day ahead holds unknowns, you will not face them alone. His mercy will meet you like morning light, soft and certain. Breathe in slowly, and with each breath, let hope rise. Breathe out, and let every worry settle into his keeping. The night belongs to him, and so does the day that waits beyond it. When your eyes open, he'll still be there. The love that surrounds you now will be the same love that welcomes you into tomorrow. Rest deeply, knowing that you are held from this breath to the next, through darkness and into light. Morning will come, and when it does, the God who kept you through the night will greet you at dawn.